So here's a box that ends a 5-year journey for me, and the only way it ended was by the help of an awesome YouTuber to help me finish this journey on my NECA trail. Want to know more? Stick around and let's unbox this. Well, that sounded pretty ominous, didn't it? And there's a reason for it. This box culminates a trip that I have been on. I made a commitment to myself about 2.5, 3, 4 years ago that I was going to get 4 of the hardest NECA figures to find. And I started my journey about 4 or 5 years ago, and I managed to snag 3 of them. And the 3 that you've seen, that you know of, are the Arkham Knight, the Joker, and the Danny DeVito Penguin. Those are the hardest ones to find. This was the ultimate hardest one to find, and this box took a journey almost as long as it took Frodo and Sam to get to Mount Doom to throw the ring in. And of course I'm talking about, this is Gandalf the Grey. How did I get this and how did it happen? This is going to be a bit long of a journey or a video for you. I got a call on my Instagram, not a call but a message on my Instagram on June the 8th at 7:18 in the morning, my time, or 7:50, and it was from Andrew, BUB'S Comics, and he says, "Is this the NECA you're looking for?" And he's got a picture of Gandalf, and I took a look at it and I went, "Oh yeah, there you go." And I wrote back and I said, "Hey Bob, that's awesome and everything, but I'm looking for the quarter scale one, not the 7 or 8 inch. He says, "This is the 20 inch. And then he sends me a second picture of Gandalf standing beside the box. And I went, "What? Yikes." I said, I just wet myself, basically. So I said, "Is this in the store?" And he said, "No, I found it online. It's in really good shape. Do you want me to get it for you?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And he said, "Well, here's the price." And I was like, "Get the hell out of here. There's no way it can be that little." Anyways, long story short, he got it for me. He had it shipped to him. He got it. He unpacked it. He called me up and he went over it. He unboxed it and he went over it and he explained it to me, everything on the phone, what it looked like, see if I was happy with it. And I was, and his wife was like, "Let's keep this thing." And I'm like, no, send it immediately. So BUB'S had to make another box because he didn't think the box that it came in would ship well. And so he made me another box. He sent me the picture. I settled up with him and he mailed it off and he sent me the tracking. I mean, there's no way that you could have asked for any better. And I've never met Andrew BUB'S. I've never met him. I mean, I've been online watching No Faces Comic Chat for years, and I watch his stuff and he watches mine. He's got a great channel. I'll put his link below. Sorry about my itchy nose. So anyways, he boxes this all up, gets it down to the post office. I settle up with him and he sends it off. And he tracks it. Now, because it was in Andrew's name, he had to constantly keep me in touch on what was going on. And like I say, this was ordered on June the 8th, and I'm going to tell you when he sent it. So on June the 12th, this was popped in the mail, and off it went. And along the way, and I got tracking numbers and the whole bit, and then he sent me certain things telling me where it was. And then, of course, it hit the Canadian border. And the Canadian border, CBSA, they wanted duty on it. He marked gift the whole bit. So there was duty on it, about 75 bucks Canadian, and BUB'S paid for that. I settled up with him and it continued on. It arrived yesterday, July the 13th. So it took actually 32 days to get here. So it was a bit of a journey for me to get this. I have not seen it. It has been sitting here for a whole day, and I can't say enough about the YouTube community and BUB'S for going above and beyond for doing this, because this was a lot of work on his part. He had to do it all. I just would get updates and emails. BUB had to do every single thing. He had to mail it, track it, send me the information. Then he had to pay the difference, which I settled up with him. And I still owed him some money at the end of all this. And he said, "Hey man, just take it as an RA, okay?" So thank you very much, Andrew, BUB'S. I do appreciate it. It's very hard for me to even explain what this is. and I'm going to get it out of the box, and we'll explain a little bit more of what this is when I get it out of the box. So let's get this guy out of the box. I'm dying to see him. I haven't seen him yet, so let's do it. Holy smokes, that was packed very, very, very well. So that's, I'm assuming, was the original box. So there is the box as it looks. Now, you're saying, wow, it's been opened. Yes, almost 90% of these have been opened, and Bub's took it out to show it to me, to make sure, to explain it to me, to make sure it was all okay. So let's get him right out of the box. I'm very excited. This is, and I will explain more about this figure, why this is so important to me. The box is a nice thing to get, and I'm sure they bubble wrapped it all up. Thank you, Bub's. It was really nice that you did all of this. There he is there. And there's the box. I do have the box. I mean, the box is a little tough, a little rough, but there it is. And there's Gandalf's hat. Of course, this is Gandalf the Grey. There's his walking cane. Put everything back in the box because the box is important. Wrapped up like a baby. Now this Gandalf is a talker. He talks, motion activated talking. Oh, he's beautiful. Oh, but he's beautiful. Wow, this is really nice. Really well packed. Thank you, Bub. Wow, this is really, really, really nice. Wow. Holy moly, look at this. There he is. Wow. Oh man, there he is. Look at this guy. Wow. Look at him. Look, just take a moment. What a beauty. One of the hardest NECAs to find. Now, I'm going to put his hat on. Oh man, look at that. Oh, and it's there too. On the walking stick, on 90% of these, the little jewel in here is missing. Now, you remember when they're going into the Mines of Moria, this is the jewel that he lights up, he holds it in front and he blows on it. The jewel, of course, is no longer crystal clear as it should be. They never are, because these were made out of paste and they yellowed up fairly quickly. He's got his sword, so let me get this in his hand so he has a look that you can appreciate, and I can appreciate. Oh my God. Oh my God. And his sword then goes in this hand. Oh man, look at this. Oh God. I've got no words for this. I mean, this is just stunning. Now, why is this so important to you? Now, in the NECA world, which I collect, this is my giant size X-Men 1. This is my AF-15. This is my Hulk 181. When we talk about these things, and we'll talk about him a little bit more here as I move him around, all of these things come in a thing called an ES edition size. Now, NECA does not mark on the bottom of their figures any edition sizes, but Gandalf was a light edition size. I've heard as low as 250, as high as 500 worldwide. It didn't sell well at the time. I'm not sure why. The facial sculpt is very close to being perfect. The robes and everything, it's all PVC plastic. There's no multimedia on this at all, but he is all there, and like I say, he's a talker. We'll see if he talks. But this became one of the hardest figures to find, and it has been on my list for a long, long time to find this guy. And there he goes. He looks like that. And when Bub's mentioned that he had found him, I was stunned for the price that Bub's found him. Even with all of the shipping and the difference and the duties, I am still probably $250 below what I would have had to pay for this. In a box even like this, the box alone sometimes sells for 150 bucks. This guy, loose as he is, and most of the time with the jewel or the staff missing, is around 400. If he's in the box sealed, never opened, that is $1,000 easy, and this is US prices. This guy right now, as he sits, if I were to put him up for sale, this would be $500 without even thinking about it. With the box, probably around $650, but he'll never be for sale. This is my grail. He is absolutely stunning, and like I say, he is a talker. I don't know if
there is only one.
There we go. And he works.
Only one who bended to his will.
Wow.
And he
man. Oh. Unreal. Just fantastic. And that is what's really neat about this figure. This is where he is in the Mines of Moria. They're trying to get out and he runs back to face the Balrog on the bridge. This is that scene. Now, I have to watch it again. I don't think he had the sword in his hand. I think he had it in his scabbard, but he had his staff because he pounds it down. But this is that scene, and this is, they call this Lord of the Rings Gandalf, and they call this Real Toys. And the reason they call it Real Toys is because this is made after a movie figure. That's how NECA did most of this stuff. And there is a Legolas, which I have, and there is an Aragorn, which I'm looking for. I also have a Bilbo, and I have a Gollum. So I kind of have, I'm just trying to see, I did put my glasses on, and I'm just trying to see what year this came out. I'll have to find the year for you as I look. I didn't put my glasses on. But the box has Middle Earth map. He stands very well. Most of these have to have a stand. But this is through BUB'S hard work and just knowing what I was looking for and going out of his way to contact me, seeing the whole thing through. That is unbelievable when that happens. And I can't thank you enough, Andrew, for doing this for me. There's just nothing I can say. This is the end of a long trip for me to get these 4 NECA, and this was the crowning piece of that hunt. And I know I'm rambling on, but I mean, he is so beautiful. You could show him.
There's only one Lord of the Rings.
There we go.
Only one who can bend it to his will.
You can take the hat off.
And he does not share power.
I'm going to listen to that till the batteries die out. But there's his hat. I would always leave it with his hat on, and I probably will show him with the sword. I may try to put him in the pose where he's doing the You Shall Not Pass, but we'll see. I got to do a little bit of work to him, and then I'm going to bring you guys in really close so you can have an absolute look. Gee, that's amazing. Listen to that. Man, NECA sure knew what they were doing when they built this guy. Why he was a non-seller to a certain degree, I don't know. But he is now one of the hardest ones to find.
There's only one Lord of the Rings. Only one.
Thank you so much, Andrew. I could never, ever... I mean, I never thought this guy was going to come to me. I really didn't. It's almost like the quest of the ring. I would dream about this guy. I'm not kidding. It's like this was never going to come to me, and here it is. So enough of my babbling. Let's get you guys in for some close-up shots, and we'll talk a little bit more about him. You got to see the face sculpt on this. Like I said, this is going to be a long video because this has been a long time coming, and thanks to Andrew, it is finally completed. What a great community. Let's have a look at Gandalf the Grey, my favorite Lord of the Rings character. So there is the NECA Gandalf the Grey. I'm still speechless about this. I still can't believe how Andrew BUB'S went out of his way to help me get this. I've just been looking at him for the last half hour, and I've just been moving him around and looking at stuff. He's just absolutely amazing. Now, Gandalf the Grey in the movie, in both The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, was played by Sir Ian McKellen. I don't think anybody else could have played that role. You know, that saying that they were born to play a role. It was like when Heath Ledger played the Joker. I just don't think anybody else could have played that. So his real name is Olien, and he is, or Mithandrin. You remember in I think it's Lord of the Rings, when he is, no, it's the Return of the Necromancer in The Hobbit, when Lady Galadriel and he's been captured, Lady Galadriel sets him free, and she calls him, at the end, she calls him Mithandrin. So, if you didn't know it, Lady Galadriel and Gandalf the Grey obviously had a relationship. She doesn't age as quickly as he does, so they obviously had a thing. But he has many names. Some of them are very cool, and I've got them written here. Inkis Tharkin is another one. Graham the Old. Now, Graham was used in a couple of the movies. It's quite interesting that they used the name Graham for somebody else. He was also known as Greybeard or the Grey, the White Rider, because remember he rides Shadowfax, and Shadowfax is completely white, so he was known as the White Rider, or Gandalf the Wanderer. And we also know that at some point he loses his battle with the Balrog, and he falls and fights him to the mountaintop, and he gets reincarnated as Gandalf the White, which makes him he lives forever after that. So we all know this. What's cool about this statue, figure statue, is he can be used to display him in the Hobbit realm, or he can be used to display him in the Lord of the Rings realm. There is, you can use him for both because he was in both movies and he works perfectly with both. This could be a scene where it is the resurgence of the necromancer. He goes in and this is where he's mumbling his incantations, and he's coming across the stone bridge. He knows the necromancer is there. He knows the army is hiding there. He knows that Azog the Defiler is there, and he's calling out, and he's got his staff and he's got a sword. He's going across that bridge part. Or this can also be used in Lord of the Rings in the Fellowship when he is facing down the Balrog on the bridge. So it can be used for either movie, and that's what's cool about it. Now, I'm going to get you guys in for some closer views. I just wanted you to have a look at him as he is now. He's a stunning figure, and I so wanted this guy. The facial sculpt is exact. It is really fantastic, and I will most likely show him like this. Now, in all of these, the gem is usually when it first came out, they were really crystallized. They turn yellow or white after a while, basically because they were made out of cheap paste, and this is the way it is. A lot of times the gem isn't even there. I'm very happy to have it. It completes the whole look. For me, a wizard with a walking stick or a staff needs to have a gem on the end of it. It just looks perfect. So we will look at Gandalf the Grey, and I will get you some very close pictures. But and I will post him with some of the other Lord of the Rings guys, so you can see what he looks like, and I'll show you what I mean when I say he can either pose with Legolas, he can pose with Bilbo, he can pose with Sméagol, so he can pose with many because he was in everything. So the only one that I'm missing out of this line now, besides the Balrog, which I probably won't get because it's just too big, is Strider. I'm missing Aragorn, and I hope to find him one day. But I need to get you guys in for some closer pictures. I'm going to try and do these outside in natural light. I think it would look nicer, so let me get that all set up for you, and we will have a closer look at Gandalf the Grey. Sorry for the noise, guys, there's lots going on around here today, so just thought I'd show you all of them together. Legolas, Gandalf the Grey, Bilbo, and Sméagol, or Gollum as he's known. I call him Sméagol most of the time. But they do look all NECA, except the Sméagol is a Lord of the Rings box set figure. He's porcelain, but I think they look absolutely amazing. So there he is, there's the Holy Grail, Gandalf the Grey, in that cabinet, with Bilbo and Gollum, and they look pretty amazing. Now you're saying, where the heck did Legolas go? And I'll show you where he is now. He's down here. I have to give him quite a bit of room because that bow takes up a lot of space. And that leaves room for him so I can put Aragorn in there when I do find Aragorn. That'll be the next one I look for. And this is just a stunning piece. I mean, I'm almost speechless. I have enjoyed this. I took the pictures. I love taking them, but I'm speechless with this one. Just want to say thank you very much to Andrew BUB'S for making this happen for me. I know it was a lot of work, and I can't even tell you how appreciative I am of it. Never really thought I would own this one. I thought this one was kind of out of reach for me, and here it is. Completes my collection. If I never get another NECA, I've got every one I want. And so some people are going to say, well, what are you going to do now? Well, we'll have another video on that, and I'll tell you where I'm going with my collection. And there's always something to get. But anyways, Area 51 brings this to you by the way of BUB'S Comics. Without BUB'S, this never would have happened. So thank you, BUB'S and the ROK for the shipping and help out there. I appreciate it. And what a great guy. Not many people would have done this, but he stepped up. And that's what's so great about this community. And right out of the blue. Never asked for it to happen. Just happened right out of the blue. So when you've got friends like that, it's amazing. So I thank you, my friend. I could never have finished this without you. So Area 51, home of the superheroes, and finally Gandalf the Grey. This gives me, was this 34 or 35 NECAs? I just love it. Anyways, we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Bye bye.